Talking about the same old Arsenal and what's going on at the back there. I mean, they did give away a goal from a mistake from Dani Ceballos. Now, that is the third time in 4 games that has happened when they've been playing out from the back. Now, Arteta said it's not the players' ability, but their positioning. What's your take on it and why they're not necessarily yet learning from their errors?
Well, yeah, it's a good point, and I said that last night that, for me, if I was in goal, I wouldn't be giving that pass to Ceballos in both, even the game at Burnley, I wouldn't have given it to Xhaka because you're giving it to a guy that's being marked, and if he miscontrols it, like what happened, then you're in trouble, and last night I see Lino making an angle for the ball, but leaving his goal unattended, and I was always taught that, if the guy that's going to give you a pass makes a mistake and you're out of your goal, then it's going to look bad on you, So I think Lino's got to take quite a lot of responsibility for both passes, for both goals. But when it's given to players like that, you do expect them to make better control and better decisions with it.
Yeah, interesting one. Granit Xhaka, of course, took a lot of stick for that goal that Arsenal conceded. You're talking against Burnley last week. You're saying that Leno, the keeper, needs to take responsibility. What's going through a keeper's mind in that scenario, David? He's obviously making a judgment call instantaneously almost. Does he just need to take a breath, the keeper, if indeed they're trying to play that way out from the back?
Yeah, but you weigh up your responsibilities and you weigh up the percentages, and once you give it to a guy, especially the Burnley one there, Xhaka was marked, and you're giving the ball to him in your own penalty area, which is dangerous. If he miscontrols that, Arsenal are in big trouble. In the end, Xhaka made a mess of it, but I just think that that's too close to the goal to be doing it. And then even with the goal last night, he was making an angle and way out of his goal. Then there was a mistake made, and he's trying to get back into his goal to get a position, and he's out of position. And it ends up you've got to think, hang on a minute, this is too close. Let's knock it long, or at least knock it wide. That's what I was always taught.
Yeah, and I guess Jose Mourinho will certainly be watching those mistakes with more than a degree of interest. Is this an area that Tottenham will target in this Sunday's North London derby, do you think, pressurising?
Certainly, once you've seen a side make 2 mistakes like that, they will definitely do it, and especially with Tottenham's front three, they'll be really pressing, and they'll be trying to put Arsenal under pressure as soon as they can and as early as they can. But like I said, for me, it's all down to Lino, and he makes the decisions. He's the guy that gets the ball at the back, and if you start trying to play little passes, it'll encourage Tottenham, and we certainly don't want to be doing that.
No, fascinating to see how that pans out. Nice moment as well, David, from Martin Odegaard, who scored his first goal for the club last night. Now, would you start with him on Sunday, or would you like to see Emil Smith-Rowe play if indeed he's fit enough?
Yeah, I think Odegaard will start because of game time. He's building in confidence, and his goal was a great strike yesterday. Not too sure about the goalkeeper, but it was a great strike. But I think with Smith-Rowe coming back from injury, I think he'd probably be sub, because he's not fully fit yet, and it's a massive game to go into when you've got a little bit of a niggle still. Hopefully he's fully fit because he's a great player. But who does he replace? Does he replace Odegaard or does he replace Willian? It's a decision that Arteta will make really close to kick-off, I'm sure.
Yeah, and talking about players going into huge games with a niggle, Harry Kane is another for Tottenham. Now, he looked to have a knee injury coming off in the win over Dinamo Zagreb last night, scored his 25th and 26th goals of the season before picking up that injury. Ice went straight on to that knee. Now, if he plays, you'd imagine he'll be a bit tender. But if he doesn't play, how does that change the dynamic of the game, do you think?
Well, if he doesn't play, it's a right result for Arsenal. He's a quality player. There's no doubt. He's a natural goal scorer, and he's a top goal scorer as well. And if he doesn't play, it will be a result. But even if he does, I'm sure that the Arsenal defenders will have that in mind, that he has got a sore knee, and they might have to have a little test of it.
Yes, yeah, I'm sure that will be playing on their minds. And as we look at the two-side situations, David, you see Spurs, they're just 5 points outside the Champions League places. Arsenal will, of course, still have aspirations of finishing in the European places. But do you see this as a bigger game for Tottenham?
Champions League-wise, yeah, and Europe-wise, definitely, because they're so much closer. Arsenal are about 10 points off the European places. So league-wise, it's a bigger game for Tottenham, but I think it's a bigger game for Arsenal, because if we win that, then we get 4 points closer to Tottenham. Well, 4 points away from Tottenham. And in the bragging rights, Arsenal have got to try and finish above Tottenham for a season, because it's been quite a while now since we've done that. So the Arsenal fans will be desperate for that to happen. Yeah,
it's a 7-point gap at the moment. Mourinho actually said, David, that he doesn't look down the table when he was asked about Arsenal. But is that a little bit of mind games from Jose? And does that have any influence in a fixture as big as this?
Yeah, it is mind games. It's. I think he's just rubbing it in a bit that Arsenal are below Tottenham, and they have been for quite a while now. But that will change, trust me. We're not used to that, and I'm sure the Arsenal fans will be getting the bragging rights, especially after the weekend.
Yeah, I wanted to ask you about a couple of other things whilst we've got you, David. Manchester United, they conceded late last night against AC Milan. Suggestions, perhaps, that Dean Henderson was at fault. How will he be feeling this morning with that goal, especially as he's getting a run of games at the moment?
Yeah, he'll definitely be disappointed. It wasn't a fast header. It was a header that was more or less straight at him, and he just got the angle of his hand wrong. I saw the goal and I was like, that is definitely one that you wish he'd saved. And in context of the game as well, it gave Milan the away goal. But I like Dean Henderson. If he can become the regular number one at Old Trafford, then he's got a great chance of pushing Jordan as England's number one, because he's a quality goalkeeper. We've seen that when he was at Sheffield United. All he needs now is to become a regular number one. Will that be at Man United? I'm not too sure, because De Gea's a quality goalkeeper.
And the other big talking point, of course, this week has been that Phil Foden penalty, which was rejected despite VAR looking at it. Big talking point, this one. Now, let's talk. One more question. Is, big one as well, video technology working?
For me, it is, yeah. It still needs altering. I'm still baffled when offsides are given on a player that is literally millimetres offside. That really annoys me. I think that we should have playing like daylight between the attacker and the defender. Then we know it's offside. And then the one the other day with Foden was just I was laughing, because it was just so bad. How. No, it's not the referee. I was just laughing at VAR, because we can see that there. We can see that he hasn't touched the ball, and we can see it easy. So why don't VAR intervene and say, look, this is a penalty? Even with Foden trying to stay on his feet, it makes it worse, because it makes players realise that if they don't go down, they ain't going to get a penalty. And then a lot of players go down when they shouldn't go down. But that sort of decision encourages it.